Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us today for Newsmakers. Our program today is taking a special approach. We're having students from the Communications Class 492, or the Senior Issues class at Missouri Southern, do some interviews with community agencies. They worked with them throughout the semester and worked hand in hand in promoting their organizations. So stay tuned as we find out about some community organizations helping our area.
Hi, my name's Carter Hickman. I'm a student here at Missouri Southern State University, and this semester, as part of our COM 492 class, we were able to help local nonprofit Joplin Nayla read. We got to learn a lot of good skills, and today I have with me Grace Klaus, the director of Joplin Nayla read. And why don't we just start off with telling the community a little bit about Nayla.
Absolutely. So Nayla is the Joplin Neighborhood Adult Literacy Action, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit literacy council. We were established in 1981, and we offer classes in literacy-related subjects to adult learners in the Joplin community, surrounding communities, anyone who can get to us in areas like reading, writing, math, English as a second language. And we are really moving into also different areas like computer literacy, workforce literacy, and different subject areas. We are really working on expanding that as well.
Awesome. So how many students do you think you have at Nayla?
So typically we serve over 150 retained students every program year, which means that they have come and stayed with us and worked for at least a specific amount of hours.
Awesome. So how long have you been helped, or has Nayla been helped out by the 492 class?
So I have been with Nayla for just under a year. I volunteered in the past. I believe that the 492 class has come and worked with Nayla in past years. I have only experienced working with the 492 class just this year, because that's how long I've been around.
Okay. So what kind of benefits have you seen from the class helping Nayla out?
So the 492 class has done a wonderful job creating some marketing materials for us. They've really worked on some brochures, a new promo video really geared towards students that we haven't really had the opportunity or resources to create in the past.
Okay, and I understand that you're the only paid member of Joplin Nayla, is that correct?
Yes, we only have one full-time employee, and we really run off of volunteers. So all of our tutors and administrative staff, those are all volunteers who really put in their own personal time, which kind of shows how much people really care about Nayla, and I really love that part.
Definitely, that's awesome. So what kind of events are coming up with Nayla that you really would like to get the word out about?
Yeah, so we actually just had our annual fundraiser, which was formerly Spell Ball, and this year was Baseball Bonanza. We had a few extra little fun twists to it this year with trivia, but upcoming we are working with the Springfield Cardinals, selling field box tickets for the game on July 13th, and the proceeds from those tickets will benefit Nayla. And we also are really excited that we're going to start offering a computer literacy class here in the coming month or so. So if you know anyone who's really interested in coming and working on their computer literacy skills, then absolutely have them come talk to us. We are on Main Street, 123 South Main. Pretty easy to remember, so have them stop by anytime.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about the computer literacy. Like, what do you expect to get out of that?
So it's likely going to be a weekly class, and we will have students kind of starting from the beginning, how to get on the internet, how to look for a job online, and that'll slowly kind of move into using computer applications like Word and Excel and things like that. Well, we actually have, if if you know anyone, one of our main needs are always going to be volunteers, because we do run off of volunteers. So if anyone is really looking for a really great cause and they wanted to come and donate their time to Nayla, we are always looking for tutors, administrative volunteers, and anyone else who's really just willing to help out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for speaking with us today. I really appreciate the time you've given us this semester and all the skills you've helped us learn. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Welcome. I'm Kristen Fiddler, and this is Rodney Rambo with Crosslines.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. So tell us a little bit about Crosslines and what you do.
Yeah, so Crosslines, we are a crisis ministry. Here we serve Joplin, Webb City, and Carl Junction, and we provide resources to families who come across financial crisis. So we help, we have an emergency food pantry, basically like a small grocery store, where we can help folks with food during a time where something else has come up that's caused them to kind of get off track for the month. And then we distribute rent and utility assistance, and then we help with a variety of other things like clothing and houseware items, hygiene products, and we even have what we call like a baby shower in a basket for moms who are in need of some assistance. So yeah, we provide a wide variety of services to folks who are just facing a hard time and need a hand up.
Where are you guys located?
We're located at 320 South School Avenue, so right over by Joe Becker ball field, right next door to Joplin Builders Supply, just kind of in the heart of East Town.
Cool. So if someone wants to get involved, how do they volunteer with your organization?
Yeah, so we are dependent on volunteers. We serve about 2,000 people a month, and we do that with 6 part-time employees. And the only reason we're able to operate so slim is because we have 6 to 12 volunteers every single day, and a lot of those are college students, all the way, and we have young families, just really all kinds of volunteers. And so all you have to do is just come in during our open hours, and we have a really simple volunteer application, and then there's jobs for everybody. There's heavy lifting all the way to just clothes that need folded, and even just having people to give a smile to our neighbors who come into the building is a huge thing.
Are there other ways people can get involved? Can they donate?
Absolutely. So, I mean, at Crosslines, we are dependent. Crosslines started because a group of about 38 years ago, a group of around a dozen churches decided, man, we could really do benevolence better if we pooled our resources. And that's still the heart of Crosslines. Crosslines exists because of the generosity of the local community. So giving is essential to Crosslines going forward. But then, yeah, volunteering, giving, and even just donating food, the items you have around the house, things like that ugly lamp that you don't want anymore. It could just be a lifesaver to somebody else. So we take drop-off donations from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Tuesday through Friday, and then 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday.
Cool. So how did the MSSU 492 class help your group out?
Oh man, it was a huge blessing to us. We had recently, about last year, we had obtained, we'd been able to put together some interview footage with some community leaders who previously in years past were Crosslines clients, and we hadn't really been able to get that developed or edited or really put in a format to share well, and we were wrestling with how to do that, and then these students came along and really took hold. So they created just some really powerful videos that really show how people that are known throughout the community, who you would never expect to have been Crosslines clients, they're able to be really transparent about how they were and how everybody needs a hand up at some point. So just having them be able to help us to share our story was just incredible. And then they also were able to make some tweaks to our website and had some great insight into social media that we hadn't considered. So man, it was just an amazing program. It's a service, like, as a nonprofit, we wouldn't be able to afford to just pay for. That money that's put towards that's money that's not being used to buy food for folks that need it. So to have them provide that service was huge.
I can't tell my story without having Crosslines in there. And Crosslines came into the picture through a recommendation from someone else. And I was like, I've never even heard of Crosslines. What is that? And so they told me, and I went down there. I was just thankful for Crosslines. I didn't really care about myself. It was for my children. It was like, hey, I'm not going to let my kids starve over pride. I just think of the people that would not have those opportunities if you didn't have Crosslines. It was a need at that time. And I'm just thankful that they were there, They encourage you to do different, to do something different, or to, you tried that path, that didn't work for you. How about let's go down this one? And I don't know if that was part of their deal or not, to talk to people or to, I won't even say provide advice, but just to kind of inspire you or to motivate you to do something different or to try something different. I'm thankful for it. I'm so thankful that they were there when I needed them. I donate a lot of things to Crosslines. That's my only choice. And just because of my story, and so, and I always believe if you're giving things, that people shouldn't have to buy them back. And so that's one thing I really love about Crosslines. Crosslines it's a place where you go to do better. I just think people should know that it's not like it's a crutch. It is an actual organization that helps people that need the help. Need doesn't have a season, it doesn't have a time, it doesn't have circumstances, it's just need. If you didn't have places like Crosslines, you wouldn't have stories like mine. There's not a lot of stories where you go from assistants to mayor. And I'm not saying that in any kind of bragging. I'm not saying it because I'm no special than anyone else. But when you have different places like that in your life and in your journey, then your destination is going to be up to you.
Some common misconceptions of people who are needing to utilize services such as Crosslines is that they're lazy, they're not working. Why do they need it? Why do they have so many kids? I've gotten that one before personally. But it really is a misconception. So many of the families that I have worked with through the Joplin School District, through Head Start and Early Head Start, a good majority of them, either one of the parents is working or they're on disability. And so they are doing the best they can. And like, my own story, they just need that help up every now and then when they just can't do it on their own. Knowing that I had somewhere to go to help, give me the support that I needed. The staff are always very courteous and very helpful. You work your way through the system as you need to, not utilizing it because it's there, but because you need it. I truly believe that people have the intent to do their best, to work as they can, to support their families. It's not just about the adults in the home, it's about the children in the home. And a lot of times the parents aren't working because they need to be there for their children. I think it's so important to have a place to donate your things to that the people who go in there don't have to pay for them, because sometimes you just can't, and you need that help when you need it, and it's so great that it's here for them. We are the Lord's hands here upon the earth with the mandate to serve and to lift his children. He is dependent upon each of us. It's by Thomas S. Monson. And I feel like that Crosslines fulfills that mandate. They were the hands of the Lord when I needed it. They were there to help me through some difficult times. I am happy to be able to be in a position that I don't need that service anymore, but I'm so glad it was there when I did.
Yeah. So where can someone go online to find out more about your group?
Yeah, so crosslinesjoplin.org is our website, and if you go on there, you can really learn everything about what we do and the items that we accept as donations, as well as the services we provide. So, and it's a better looking website than it was just a month or so ago because of our students. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad that they could make an impact on Crosslines.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a huge thing. We, philosophically, we don't want to spend, a lot of, we want our money to go directly to the folks that we're serving. So to have community partners willing to come and help us keep that a reality is huge.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Man, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Hello everyone, my name is Miles Neighbors. Today I'm here with Greg Sprink. Greg Sprink is the Executive Director at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Greg, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, Miles.
Oh, awesome. Greg, can you give us a little insight on what Big Brothers Big Sisters is?
Well, Big Brothers Big Sisters is my favorite nonprofit in the world. It is a group of people that takes kids who are in crisis, we call them littles, we pair them with adult volunteers, we call them bigs, and we make matches. And we don't just make matches, we make great matches. So we do an extensive interview process. There's probably about 6 hours of time that goes into a proper match, from the time we meet someone to interviewing them, to gathering their information, and to finding that perfect match. And so we have a case manager, Hazel, who's a great read of people, and she does a fantastic job of making great matches. And so, in fact, we don't consider a match successful it doesn't last at least a year. But ideally what we want to do is we want to make matches that last a lifetime. So in 1986, I was a sophomore in college in my second sophomore year, and met a kid named Ronnie through Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we became bigs and littles, and we spent the last 2 years of college together. And then when I graduated college and moved to Tulsa from Oklahoma City, we continued to stay connected, and we stayed connected all these years. So we are still connected, and I was a pastor at the time, ended up doing his wedding when he got married. When his wife left him and his 2 kids, he showed up on my front porch with his 2 kids, and so my wife and my kids know him. We've been connected. I've been connected with Ronnie since 1986 through my relationship with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And so when this job became available to be the executive director at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I jumped on it. I thought, man, how can I say no to that? I love this organization.
Wow, that's really awesome. So you've had, a nice long, tenure with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So over the semester, you had a team of people help you out with many different things. What did that team do for you?
Oh man, Miles, you guys were incredible. You did a fantastic job. You and your team got there. We met that first time with donuts and started talking. And what was crazy is I've had interns come in the past, and I have always tried to lay out an agenda for what we wanted to accomplish over the semester. And as I laid that agenda out, you guys said, well, we could do this and we could do this. And so the agenda almost doubled in size. And then things that I didn't think that we could do in a semester, you guys pulled off in a semester and exceeded all of my expectations. It was fantastic. And the video that we closed with was absolutely over the top, a home run. It was awesome.
That's really cool. What's one thing that you've taken away or actually gained knowledge from listening to some college students about your organization? What, like, the help that they did?
Well, I think one of the first questions I asked you guys when you got there was, what do you guys know about Big Brothers Big Sisters? And most of you had heard of Big Brothers Big Sisters. You just didn't know what we did. And so that was where the whole idea came. How do we tell people who we are? How do we communicate this message? Because we are this great organization and we do these incredible things. How do we get more people involved in this amazing organization? And that's where I really, again, you guys came alongside and said, yeah, these are great ideas, Greg, but what about, and these other ideas that you came up with? And then even during the semester, as the course progressed, I remember they came one meeting to, hey, here's a great way to promote this. What if we did these coasters? And I was like, dude, that's genius. I would have never thought of that. So you guys had some great outside the box ideas, some things that, man, I would have never thought of. And I think part of that might be where you are age-wise, part of that might be where you are in school, part of that, there's a whole lot of reasons for that. But sometimes, man, I look at the same thing and I've got this problem I don't know how to fix. And so I bring some fresh eyes in from the outside like you all, and you see things and say things and I'm like, yes, absolutely, of course that's the answer. So you guys were amazing. Thank you for that.
Oh, awesome. And then what's one thing that you want, future students that, maybe that next semester that's going to come in and help Big Brothers Big Sisters, what's something that you think they can also add to, your organization to make it even 10 times better?
Well, let me start by saying you guys raised the bar. So I don't know, hopefully we'll be a part of this again next year and we'll get some great interns again next year, but you guys certainly raised the bar of what we're going to be expecting from them when they get there. But man, what they could, again, you guys know mediums of communication that I have heard of. I've got a son who's in high school, so I know of some of these things that you guys, but I've never entertained the idea. One of the things that I think was the greatest thing you did, you created this thing on Indeed. Man, I'm familiar with Indeed and have used it before. We use it to help hire our case manager, but the idea of getting volunteers to get 36 applications. So we have 36 matches. So we have 36 people who have gone through the process to get matched in our first year of being able to make matches. That's what we did. You guys found 36 people to volunteer to at least come in and talk about the process. That's as many as we matched last year. I mean, that's 100% increase in what we had. And so I think, man, that was genius. But those are avenues that I would not think about doing. And so you guys are connected in mediums and in sources that I would never think to use. And so, man, I love your fresh perspective, and I love that. And so I want people to come in and not be afraid to say, have you thought about, would you try this? Because again, I don't even know all the questions. There's no way I have all the answers. And so you guys came in and didn't just say, yeah, we'll do what it is you say to do. You said, hey, we could make this better. And that's what I want. I want people who want to grow the organization like I want to grow the organization, who want to dream big and think outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Well, Greg, thank you so much for giving, my team and I the opportunity to, hang out with you guys and collaborate ideas on bettering your organization. I really appreciate it.
Well, we are the ones who are blessed by it. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And if there's anything I can do for you all, man, don't hesitate to let me know.
For sure, for sure. This is Miles Neighbors signing out. Shooting to the next interview. We'll see you later.
Hi, my name is Patrick Neal, and I am the group leader of Comm Issues 492 class. And one of the things we're doing here today is we're actually working with the Lion Co-op throughout the semester. And I'm here with Andrea Cullors. Andrea, tell me about the Lion Co-op a little bit.
The Lion Co-op is a food and personal hygiene pantry located on the MSSU campus, and it's open and available to all employees of Missouri Southern and students of Missouri Southern.
Okay, so what are some of the issues that you guys faced throughout when you first started the actual process of building this Lion Co-op?
Well, it kind of started last year. I did a survey with our Lifetime Wellness class, and it was just a 3-question USDA food insecurity survey, and we found that about 25 to 30% of students in the UE classes reported being food insecure. So just meaning that at some point during the week or the year, they didn't know when they would get their next meal. They didn't know if they had enough money for food, or if they had to trade off maybe paying a bill versus buying food. So when that happened, I got together with Dr. White and Dr. Bever, and we started discussing a food pantry. And so that happened over the summer, and then we brought the idea to the University Council, President's Council, in the fall, and we opened in November. So really the challenges initially getting it opened were finding a location, getting the word out, getting awareness out, raising money for it. And so what we still find is the big challenge is awareness. So making sure that students, staff, faculty, all those that are on campus are aware that the Lion Co-op is there to meet the needs of those that need just a little bit of extra help.
Okay. So one of the things we did was we built a campaign called We Give a Crock. Mm-hmm. And originally we had actually started out doing the change, but we noticed that when you do a change jar, a lot of people just don't carry change anymore. That was one of the issues. So we built the campaign from the ground up. Was there anything that you noticed that we could have done better during the campaign, and also some of the maybe the tasks that the red tape that we had to go through?
Mm-hmm. So I think anytime you're at a university, things can be challenging. So initially we thought that maybe we could sell raffle tickets at the bookstore, but then the red tape of figuring out how to do that became challenging. But there's always just different layers of approval needed. But I think some of the best parts of it were the community outreach that you and your group did, going out to local businesses, both helping to raise community awareness about the problem, and then also getting them to become partners and buy in and wanting to be part of the solution and fundraising for the Lion Co-op.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think a lot of the people in the community were a little shocked that that we had this going. I don't think anybody actually knew. Some of the businesses actually were very open about it, and they were. I think we ended up raising $600 in donations to actually donate towards the campus, and so we could actually give those away. What do you see the projection in the future of Lion Co-op down the line?
We are in the fall. We have a lot going on. We've just been open about 6 months, and so we have seen over 400 students in that 6-month time period. And so we're really hoping next year to build upon that. We have 2 social work interns that will be designated to running the Lion Co-op in the next academic year, and so they'll each provide 16 hours of work. So we might be able to expand our hours. We hope to, I just was in a meeting today hoping to get maybe a sink and what's required in order to be able to repackage some food. So expanding the perishable items that we have. And so both increasing our inventory, increasing our hours are things that we're looking at in the fall. And then we also have recently received initial approval to have a class through the co-op, which would be a service learning class, and then students would do a discipline-specific project working with the co-op.
Okay. Yeah, during the campaign, my mother-in-law actually won the campaign, so that was kind of nice, which is nice. My mother-in-law is actually, they didn't have a lot of money growing up, so what she did was she very much knows what it's like to be poor, so she ended up donating all of the donations back to Missouri Southern. So what are the plans for that later on, since you guys all have that actual the donations?
And working with either athletics or foundation at one of their big events in the fall, we hope to do a silent auction of those items, and then the money raised from that silent auction would then go back to the co-op.
Okay. So how was your experience with working with students? Because it's a different. I imagine it's a different working with, because we have so many different schedules than actually working within an industry with like people that are coworkers or something like that. But you had to work around our schedule, which was a little harder. How was that?
Well, I think it's challenging, both because I am a faculty member here at Missouri Southern, so I'm an associate professor in the kinesiology department, so balancing that and working with my students in that department, and then with the Lion Co-op, I'm also working with some students in the art department and then honors department, or honors students, and so trying to work on all these different schedules and being many places at once is challenging.
Yeah, I think we faced a lot of things. I think a lot of our group, we all have so many different backgrounds. I think that was the great thing about it. Maddie West was kind of second in command to me, and I live an hour away, so that was always fun to have her on campus, and she had access to the marketing department. She actually made the video that we'll probably show at the end of this. She did a great job. I did the voiceover for the actual the We Give a Crock campaign. I like the fact that we all had different individual tasks to do, and I worked with you many times on that, and coming to you about issues, and I think building it from the ground up was one of the initial projects that we were tasked with. Is that because in the beginning there was no guidance really, we just had it. You gave us full authority to kind of just tackle it the way we wanted to, and but it was great working with you, and I'm glad we got a chance to do that. So, but
that's great.
Yeah. So are you going to do this as a class next year, aren't you? Or are you going to have people do that?
Right. So we'll have so it's a cross-campus interdisciplinary class. So students from business could take it, and there would both be a group project with all the students in the class, and then they would also be doing a discipline-specific project. So maybe analyzing our data from the inventory of what students are taking. So that's where we're hoping to move forward, is really just having the Lion Co-op not just be a place where we're serving students' needs in terms of personal hygiene items and food, but that we're also providing an academic learning experience for students. So either to prepare them for an internship or a future job, they're getting experience, real world experience, but still within the safety of a classroom.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the students and the representatives from the organizations for sharing their information today on Newsmakers, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'm Judy Stiles. Hope you can join me again next week at the same time on the station. We'll see you then.